Hello and welcome to Contract from Below. I'm Con,
I'm Rocky.
and we're doing our top picks to be unbanned in the Commander format. We're going to be going in just alphabetical order. Why don't you start us off?
Sure. Yeah. So the first one we chose is Biorhythm. I mean, it's an 8 mana card. And like, yeah, there's some goofy stuff, but at the end of the day, there's so many things that can do more, for less.
Exactly, right. Like, yeah, you can Psychrift and then Biorhythm, but you can Psychrift and then play other bombs, and it's like pretty close to winning anyway. When you get up to the like 7, 8, 9 mana range, most things should be ending the game. Next is Coalition Victory. Coalition Victory is a weird alternate win condition card, and I feel like this just screams Commander. Commander is where you get to play all these fun, goofy, weird ways to win the game, and this card honestly isn't that good. Like, it checks on resolution, so if somebody ghost quarters your Triome or bounces your only blue creature in response to you casting this, you just spend 8 mana to do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it turns out being like a several card combo that is pretty easy to deal with. Um,
Isn't good. Sliver Hivelord is a 5 color creature that is also, it has indestructible, so that's probably the best. But then if you're playing Sliver Hivelord, why aren't you just a Sliver deck? Isn't that better to win with? Like, it seems way
but
easier to win with just playing Slivers as opposed to just Coalition. Like, this card seems really bad.
next we have Emrakul, the Aeons Torn. I don't think this card, is as good as when it came out.
Yeah,
I
15
mean,
mana.
it's a very fun card, and you know what? Yeah, if it resolves for 15 mana, like yeah, it's gonna do a lot of stuff. But once again, I mean, it's just compared to like so many things that we see like today. Like, is this really much stronger than like a storm deck that needs far less to go off? I don't think so.
Alright, next is Lutri, and there's a little caveat. I want Lutri unbanned, and I want them to change the rules again so that Companion doesn't work. I think it's really annoying that Companion is the only mechanic that brings things from outside the game. I know they changed the wording of the rules when Companions came out to make it so that it works. I still don't like it because then it's your 101st card still. It breaks the whole 100 card thing. So like from like a rules clarity aesthetic point of view, I really hate Companions.
Like, there just is no sideboard. There is no outside the
Right,
game.
exactly. And Karn the Great Creator, all the Wish cards, all of those just do not function, except Companions. So I think it's also very confusing for new players, too. When was the last time you saw somebody actually use a companion in the companion zone in Commander? Like, almost never. Some of them you can't even do anyway, like Yorion doesn't even work. Most of them aren't super good. I mostly see people play it in the command zone because they're all legendary creatures. Let's just get rid of the companion rule and let's play Lutri.
Next we have Panoptic Mirror. Now, yeah, whenever I first started playing, this is like one of the like first combos I ever learned because I learned playing Magic from the 2013 Duels of the Planeswalker game, and
Right.
in the Mono Blue Tower End deck, that you have access to this combo. You can play Panoptic Mirror and Time Warp, and if you don't know, Time Warp is just a 5 mana blue spell. Take an extra turn. It's a sorcery speed, but in combination with Panoptic Mirror, you're casting it every turn. And I mean, maybe like 10 years ago that would have been more threatening, but now, I mean, it's a 10 mana combo that takes a full turn cycle to resolve.
Yeah, normally combos are scary because you go, oh, I tapped out. If they go for the. Now, game's over for me, right? But with Panoptic Mirror combo, that's not a threat at all. You can always tap out, and then if they play it, you're like, cool, I'll untap and use my, removal. And they spent 10 mana setting it up, so like they probably don't have much to back it up. Okay, our
Um,
last one is Paradox Engine. And I have a feeling this is like a controversial pick. There's probably a lot of people who are like, ah, no, it should be banned. Hear me out, though. I think this card was printed just at the wrong time. And I actually think if it was printed again for the first time recently, it wouldn't be banned. So people were just throwing this into any deck that they had with a bunch of mana rocks and mana dorks, specifically Thrasios decks. Thrasios came out around a similar time as Paradox Engine. And Thrasios plus Paradox Engine is a great way to just spin your wheels. You're scrying a bunch, you're putting some lands into play, you're not doing anything too meaningful. And also back then, people played less removal than they do today. Specifically less artifact removal. So what would happen was, the Thrasios player would spin their wheels doing nothing, and then it would go a whole turn cycle, and then they would spend another 20 minutes doing nothing, and go another whole turn cycle, and so on and so forth, right? But one, more people play artifact removal today. And two, I feel like banning a card because people didn't play it correctly is not great. Like, we should, instead of banning things that seem annoying or strong, we should be teaching people how to play around it. You can't just put Paradox Engine in a deck, right? It was really powerful in certain CDH decks because they had dedicated combos, plus a critical mass of tutors and cheap spells, especially cantrips, to search through their deck and get. And then, once they found that combo, they would go for a win. But a lot of people just put it into their casual EDH decks with no combos, expecting it to just be good and do things. But it just did things, but it wasn't good. You wouldn't spin into something that would end the game. In CDH or higher level tables, Paradox Engine almost always ended the game when it resolved. They would just go for the win that turn. There was no 20 minutes past the turn, 20 minutes past the turn. It was over. So I feel like the card was banned because people didn't build around it or play with it correctly.
I mean, really, everything on this list kind of just comes back to, like, the game has changed a lot since these cards were banned. I guess Paradox Engine is different because Paradox Engine only got banned 3 years ago. But for the most part,
well, still, over those 3
don't...
years, power creep has been pretty crazy. This is also an interesting card. It's a colorless storm engine, right? Which means you can storm in any colors you want.
Exactly.
You're not limited to, like, is it anymore. And I think it opens up the format for, like, a lot of creativity. Well, now we want to hear what y'all think. You know, are we crazy? Should these stay banned? Is there anything else that you think should be unbanned? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. I don't know what else to say.